Hello, wonderful people. The highest in me bows to the highest in you. Welcome to the first quarter activation in Soul Guidance with Deepti. I invite you to take this moment and feel a sense of deep gratitude for yourself for staying committed week on week for trying to connect with the spirit. Since you've been joining me on this journey for quite some time, this is part of your regular routine where you are choosing a window to come out of the illusionary world that we tend to believe to be the truth. We are so accustomed to living a life outside in, but it is doing things like these rituals that help you stay connected to your soul that really help you start living your life more consciously and which is inside out. So, thank you so much for making time and joining us on this journey. Let's see what Spirit has in store for us this coming week. I invite you to hold a little intention in your heart so that you can dedicate the merits of this particular channeling today to somebody in your life that who could benefit from this particular ritual. It could be a person, it could be a group of individuals, it could be the entire collective, it could be an animal, any sentient being, any situation you think can do with a little bit of love and compassion. I invite you to bring in an intention for them as we go through invoking the wisdom of the Spirit. Spirit, please show us what is going to be the gift this coming week and what is going to support us on this journey. Please let us know. So, the message that we are receiving from Spirit this week is that this week we are going to find ourselves coming to a place that needs deeper healing. Maybe physically, a lot of people will feel a need to slow down, come to a pace that is slower than usual, and allow their bodies to heal and cope up. Also, the solar flashes that are happening, there is a lot of high frequency energy that's coming in, and our bodies may need some time, especially if you are highly sensitive to energies, you would feel a need to rest more than usual. So, if you feel that your generic energy levels are not as per your usual levels. This is going to be a week where you can try and stay more hydrated, where you can take some breaks in between and generally hold a lot of love and compassion for your body as you go through this transitionary process. I'm also being shown that for a lot of us, this particular week, some sort of fears are really going to come up to the surface. And these fears have been lying there for quite some time. But it is just that we've been so occupied focusing our attention on other aspects of our life that we've really not taken conscious time to pay attention to these and heal these particular fears which have found a stay in our energetic body because of the trauma experiences that we may have experienced in the past. So if this coming week you can simply hold space and meditate on those fears, meditate on those insecurities, and just not react but respond to those fears with a lot of self love, with a lot of self compassion. It's going to be a week that will support you on your journey of becoming the highest and the truest versions of ourselves. Spirit is showing us that even while you go through chaotic situations in life, there is always this connection to the creator spirit that is always available to us, and we should not forget that beautiful connection, that authentic and pure connection, because that is in earnest who we really are. We are also creators in our own mind, because we are created from that beautiful creative energy, that unending source of unconditional love. So, if you feel that you are struggling a little to be able to find compassion for yourself or find compassion for people related to you in your life right now, you can only in your heart remember the source consciousness, the creator consciousness that created you and brought you in this particular lifetime. And just by the virtue of that, you have this unending portal of unconditional love in your heart, and you can just tap into that and bring love to the fearful situation, bring love to the situation that's making you feel jittery, bring love to all those thoughts that make you feel insecure in some form for that matter. I am being shown that there are going to be occasions while you are talking to a loved one, or when you're talking to your friends, when you're talking to your colleagues, just listening them and hearing them out on their life journeys, what it is that they are doing, or they could be going on a little vacation. Just notice what that brings up inside of you. And if that brings you to a place of contraction, that's going to be an opportunity for you to try and see how can I navigate this thought coming from a place of love. Can I really flip the thought, and instead of feeling insecure about something, or instead of coming to a place of comparison, instead of operating from that separate consciousness, can I bring the love and light and know that that individual and me, we are the same consciousness. So possibly you are having an extended experience through them, and they are part of your consciousness. So similarly, if somebody is going through a hard time and they are sharing that with you, if you can really hold compassion and love for that person is being healed through you. Exactly how we've dedicated today's channeling as being beneficial to so many others in our lives. Similarly, because of that collective consciousness that we are a part of, we are able to share the merits from ourselves to others, and in the same way, be receptive of the merits coming from others to ourselves. And this really depends on our level of consciousness and not their level of consciousness. So, even if they do not really think of it in that manner, the moment you flip the switch in your head, when you change your thought process, it is that you start creating and manifesting your own reality, which is coming from this place of unconditional love. It is coming from this place of singularity or unity consciousness, and it is always for the highest and best of each and every person involved. So, this particular week, we are going to have some occasions where we are going to see these thoughts that make us a little uncomfortable come up to the surface. It's going to be seen in our relationship with our parents, with our siblings, with our co workers, with our friends, with our spouses, with our children. And instead of just being very reactive, if you are observant and you realize what thought is coming alive in you, and do you have it in you to actually give that thought form some sort of love, some sort of compassion, it will just pass through and it will be healed forever. It just needs a compassionate witness, and you can be the best witness moment to moment for yourself. So that is really going to help us out. And what is going to be our ally in this particular week? It's going to be the ability to not fall in the trap of the narrative that our ego mind really comes up forth with. So, our mind is a very beautiful instrument, and if we really understand the power of this instrument, we can use it to our own benefit. The ego mind can actually serve us. It starts believing whatever it is that we start feeding it with at a subconscious level. So, if you are facing your fears and bringing in love very consciously, you are shifting the subconscious energy associated with those deep rooted situations which have been problematic for you. And as you do that, you are retraining your mind. You are, in a way, asking your ego mind to support you in a manner that is more conducive for yourself and for others, coming more out of love and compassion and not out of a fright or freeze mode for that matter. So we have to just be very cognizant of what thoughts are coming up for us. And if we can choose to not get caught in that dance of the mind, the mind and the intellect. So our mind and intellect are going to feed us thoughts more than usual this coming week. And if at all we really get drifted, we will come back into the same spiral of certain conditioning and patterning that it is time for us to move away from. So, even if such thoughts arise in your mind and in your intellect, if that is what your mind and your brain is asking you to do, can you just consciously choose to bring in that heart energy? Can you just choose to go through that situation with love? If something is happening around and you think that it is a little toxic for you, can you really hold that space in you? Can you practice maybe uh, punishing the sin and not the sinner, the person that who's doing it? Can you hold compassion for that person? And of course, can you have a conversation around it, and can you set a healthy boundary so that such situations that uh, perhaps feel toxic to you do not really uh, continue to spiral in your life? And that is how you would have brought in the love energy, and you would have changed around a situation for yourself. So spirit is trying to show us that this week, if you can be observant, if you can be cognizant, your mind, your mental faculties can be used to bring about that change in your life, which is extremely necessary, which is extremely important. And it is your mental faculties that have been programmed and conditioned from the past that are really going to come up. So, can you choose to just change the lens of looking at those same instances? And once you do that, you would have built a very strong foundation for yourself. And one energy that's going to be really prominent is going to be to look at the week as somebody who is very excited on this particular journey of self reflection, self growth, self evolution. And if you have that, can you really share your experiences with people around in your life? Because when you are going to bring that energy of sharing and nurturing, you're going to build a very strong network of people around yourself. You are going to build a very strong foundation of resources which are going to be very supportive on your journey hereafter. तो ये हफ्ता हमें शायद ऐसा हो सकता है कि हमारी फिजिकल बॉडी में थोड़ा एनर्जेटिक लेवल कम महसूस होगा, और जब ऐसा होगा तो क्या हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा समय ध्यान या समाधि में लगा सकते हैं? ऐसी बहुत सिचुएशंस दिखाई दे रही हैं जो आ सकती हैं, जिनकी वजह से कहीं ना कहीं एक डर महसूस किया जा सकता है, एक इनसिक्योरिटी महसूस हो सकती है. लेकिन ऐसी सिचुएशंस में हमें याद रखना है कि जो हमारा कनेक्शन है परमात्मा के साथ, उस कनेक्शन में बहुत सारी प्यार की ऊर्जा है जिसमें ताकत है हर डर को अपने आप में समेटने की। और एक बारी जब हम डर को प्यार से मिला लेते हैं तो वो डर डर नहीं रहता। वी आर एबल टू एम्ब्रेस दोज एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ आवरसेल्व्स दैट वी हैव नॉट बीन एबल टू इंटीग्रेट इन द पास्ट। तो जब हम उन सारी चीज़ों की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ले लेंगे, उन सारे थॉट्स को खूब सारा प्यार देंगे, तब उसकी एनर्जी हमारे अंदर बदल जाएगी, शिफ्ट हो जाएगी, और उसी से हमारी रियलिटी भी शिफ्ट होगी। ये पूरा हफ्ता हमारे ख्याल हमारे से बहुत सारी गेम्स खेलेंगे, हमें बहुत सारा उतार चढ़ाव महसूस होगा हमारे ख्यालों में। तो ये हफ्ता हमें थोड़ा सतर्क रहना है, थोड़ा ज़्यादा माइंडफुल रहना होगा। और जब हम माइंडफुली इससे गुजरेंगे तो हमें क्लियरली दिखाई देगा कि किस तरह हमारी बुद्धि और हमारा मन हमसे खेल करते हैं और उन चीज़ों को बिलीव करने में सार्थक रहते हैं जो कि रियलिटी से थोड़ी हटके होती हैं। तो जब हम अपने परसेप्शंस निकाल देंगे, अपने माया दृष्टि से बाहर निकलकर जो चीज़ें वाकई में जैसी है देखने लगेंगे, तब हम बहुत ज़्यादा आसानी से इस हफ्ते से गुजर पाएंगे। और ये जो नोटिस कर रहे होंगे हम थॉट्स, हमें बहुत हेल्प करेंगे अपने अंदर वो शिफ्ट लाने में, अपने अंदर वो परिवर्तन लेकर आने में। और जब जब हम उन थॉट्स का सामना प्यार से नहीं करेंगे, वो हमारे अंदर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बढ़ाएंगे। We are going to feel even more conflicted within us if we are not going to face our fears and insecurities with love this time around. So looks like this is going to be a week with a couple of mental challenges, but Spirit has also shown us what is our gift going to be like and what can really support us in this journey. I invite you to go through this week with a lot of self-love, with a lot of compassion, and thereby making that the foundation of our lives and influencing the lives very beautifully of all those around us. Thank you and namaste.